Powerhouse Productions presents the 1995 Ford World Curling Championships, brought to you by Ford of Canada and Canada Safeway, both proud sponsors of the 1995 Ford World Curling Championships.
Brandon, Manitoba is known as the Wheat City. The second largest center in Manitoba has a population of 40,000. All the amenities of a large city, but with small town atmosphere, Brandon is famous for its hospitality, energy, and imagination. Soon this agricultural hub of western Manitoba will be overrun. For 9 straight days, the eyes of the world will be focused on the Keystone Center in Brandon. What better stage for an international showdown of curling's best than Canada's heartland? Hundreds of volunteers from all walks of life and from every age group have been involved in preparations for the Week of Curling. All across the city, people eagerly anticipated the arrival of this week. As for the participants, 20 men's and women's teams have assembled in Brandon with one thought in mind: to be the world's best.
Competing curlers and curling fans. You may have noticed by now the odd Ford oval on the ice up in the stands and probably at your seat, so I don't need to remind you of our interest in this event. We hope that this will be the beginning of a very long relationship with curling.
The authority of the World Curling Federation, I now declare the 1995 World Curling Championships open.
What more could Manitobans ask for than to have a homegrown team represent their country? What more could Canada ask for than former world champion Connie Laliberté?
Oh, it's an honor and a privilege. It's great. It's a great feeling to know that you have all the support of Canada behind you.
Team Canada, consisting of lead Janet Arnott, second Kathy Gauthier, third Kathy Overton, and skip Connie Laliberté, instantly become the hometown favorites. Only months before, Connie's foursome suffered a devastating loss when original third Karen Purdy broke her ankle prior to the Scott Tournament of Hearts. Former provincial opponent and skip Kathy Overton was summoned to fill the void. With their Fort Rouge Curling Club in Winnipeg only a few hours away, Team Canada feels right at home.
I'm really happy that we're playing in Brandon, in our home province, and it's really nice to have all that support behind us.
Completing the dream team from Winnipeg, former bronze medalist Carrie Burtnick. Curling out of the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club in Winnipeg are lead Keith Fenton, second Rob Meekin, third Jeff Ryan, and skip Carrie Burtnick.
Well, it's definitely a great honor. It's every curler's dream in Canada to get a chance to win the Brier and play in the World Championships.
Canada's men's championship tournament, the Brier, is one of the most competitive curling events in the world. Burtnick survived. Only the Ford Worlds remain, and in his own backyard.
I think there is maybe some extra pressure, but there's always a lot of pressure on Canada because you're expected to do very well given our history in curling, and we also put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So we like to draw on the fact that we got the hometown support here to help us.
In the women's division, curling pundits feel that Canada's main competition will come from Norway, truly a curling power in its own right. Lead Cecily Torhag, second Marianne Asplund, third Hani Pettersson, and two-time gold medalist skip Dordy Nordby curl out of the Snarrowen Curling Club in Oslo. Making her 7th Worlds appearance, Nordby and Canada's Sandra Peterson are the only skips to win back-to-back World Women's titles. Manitobans remember Dordy. They remember her gold medal 4-3 victory over Canada's Julie Sutton in the Winnipeg Arena in 1991. Have the Ghosts caught a bus to Brandon? In the men's division, another curling legend made the trip to Brandon from Norway. Curling out of the Snarrowen Curling Club in Oslo are lead Tor Torbråten, second Jan Thorsen, third Anton Grimsmo, and three-time world champion skip Eigil Ramsfeld. Making his unprecedented 14th World Championship appearance, the winningest skip at 52 wins is back. 1979, 1984, and 1988 were his golden years. Can Eigil win a fourth? The decade is right. Going into day one, the expectations are high. When it comes to international curling, Canadians expect to win. And as action gets underway, most attention focuses on center sheet, featuring Germany's Andrea Schoep and Canada's Connie Laliberté. Locked in a 2-all battle, Connie makes 3 in the 9th to take a 5-2 lead. In the final end, Germany is run out of rocks. Favored Dordy Nordby makes 2 world-class shots in an extra end to steal a 4-3 decision from Switzerland's Graziella Gritsching. Also winning in dramatic fashion on opening day is Team USA's Lisa Schoenberg. After scoring a 4 in the 8th, the U.S. steal in the 9th for a convincing 10-6 win over Ayako Ishigaki of Japan. After the first day of action, Canada, Norway, Scotland, Sweden, and the USA all sit at 1-0, while Denmark, Germany, Japan, Switzerland, and France still look for their first victory. The first draw for the men takes place Saturday evening, and once again, eyes focus on Team Canada. Burtnick doesn't disappoint, scoring a 5-2 victory over Switzerland's Andreas Schwaller. American Tim Somerville has last rock in the 11th and escapes with a 5-4 win over Sweden's Peter Lindholm. After 9 ends of play, fan favorites Andy Capp of Germany and Gordon Muirhead of Scotland are all tied at 4. Capp then uses his final stone to capture Germany's first victory. But the biggest surprise of the evening comes when Australia's Hugh Milliken locks brooms with Norway's Eigil Ramsfeld. Down 5-2 after 5 ends, the Aussie foursome strike back. In the 11th, Eigil falls short as his final stone wrecks on a guard, giving up a steal of 1 and a 7-6 victory to Australia. At the end of day 1, only Australia, Canada, England, Germany, and the US stand undefeated. A surprise Norway and Scotland join Sweden, Switzerland, and Wales at 1 loss apiece. More than 225,000 people were expected at these Ford Worlds. In order to accommodate everyone, the Keystone Center would literally have to transform. And it did. Over 1,600 volunteers, as well as ice makers, security, ticket sellers, WCF officials, food venue and souvenir clerks worked feverishly to be ready opening day. The Keystone Center, home to the Brandon Wheat Kings of the Western Hockey League, numerous exhibitions, fairs, and trade shows, had overnight become a world-class curling facility. The stage was set. There would be no more rehearsals. Cue the cameras, strike up the band, raise the curtain. It's showtime. The women's field at these 1995 Ford World Curling Championships is undoubtedly one of the strongest ever assembled. And if experience accounts for success, Germany's future looks bright. The German squad calls Club Riesersee in Garmisch, Germany, their home rink. The team consists of lead Karina Meidel, second Nathalie Nessler, third Monika Wagner, and former world champion skip Andrea Schopp. While the front end of Meidel and Nessler are virtual newcomers to the world curling circuit, Wagner and Schopp had previously stood on the medal podium 4 times. Schopp's only gold came in 1988 over Canada's Heather Houston. Their male counterparts have the benefit of world-class experience as well. Lead Holger Hohn, second Oliver Axnick, third Uli Kapp, and his brother skip Andy Kapp curl out of the Fusen Curling Club in Fusen, Germany. With last year's bronze medal team still intact, the Andy Kapp rink believe they can only improve. They made just one change to the team. Reversing roles from a year ago, Holger Hohn now played lead, while Michael Schaefer became the 5th man. Although not as established, the Swedish men's team are not to be taken lightly. Lead Peter Narup, second Magnus Swartling, third Thomas Norden, and former World Junior gold medalist skip Peter Lindholm curl out of the Östersunds Curling Club in Östersund, Sweden. The young and talented Swedes were back after a year's absence when they posted a 4-5 record in Geneva. In the women's division, the veteran-laden team from Sweden will have to be reckoned with. Curling out of the Umeå Curling Club in Umeå, Sweden, comes lead Elisabeth Persson, second Louise Marmont, third Katarina Nyberg, and former gold medalist skip Elisabeth Gustafsson. Sweden, as a team, are making their 4th straight appearance at these Worlds, collecting gold in '92 and bronze in '93 and '94. Sunday, 7 a.m. Day 2 kicks off early, very early. The Lalaberty foursome sleepwalk through the first 3 ends as Team USA explodes for 5 in the 3rd. A wake-up call is made. Canada storms back from a 7-2 deficit to steal a 10-9 victory from the American Schoenberg in 10 ends. That afternoon, in draw 3, Team Canada again falls behind early, trailing 3-1 to Sweden after 5 ends. Lalaberty then scores 2 in the 9th, en route to a 6-4 victory over Gustafsson. Norway's Dorte Nordby keeps pace with unbeaten Canada with 2 one-sided victories of her own. An early morning 11-6 win over Scotland's Kirsty Hay. Then another decisive victory as she counts 2 in the 7th, en route to a 10-6 triumph over the USA in the afternoon draw. The Swiss discover the win column as they down Helena Black-Larsen of Denmark 7-4 in 10 ends. After 3 rounds, only 2 rinks have yet to taste defeat. Canada and Norway lead the way, followed closely by Germany, Scotland, and Sweden at 2 and 1. Japan, Switzerland, and the US at 1 and 2, and Denmark and France at 0 and 3. This is the busiest day at the Worlds, with 2 draws each for both the women and the men. On the men's side, England's Alistair Burns gives Canada's Burtnyk a run for his money. Leading by only 1 in the 9th, Canada hits for 2 en route to a hard-fought 7-4 win. Then, in a highly touted matchup, Team Canada needs only 8 ends to dispose of Eigil Ramsfell of Norway. Burtnyk makes steals in 3 different ends, as Norway never seems to get on track. Meanwhile, the underdogs from Down Under continue their winning ways by trouncing Wales 10-2 in only 7 ends. The Aussies finally taste bitter defeat in a seesaw affair with Gordon Muirhead's Scotland. Tied at 4 apiece in the 10th, the Scots score 1, giving them their 2nd victory of the day. Switzerland's Andreas Schwaller counts 3 in the 9th end against Sweden and goes on to win in the extra end by an 11-6 margin. The highlight of day 2 comes when John Hunt's Welsh foursome claim their first ever World Curling win, a 6-5 triumph over winless Sweden. When the smoke had cleared, Canada remained unbeaten, much to the delight of the home crowd. Australia, Germany, Scotland, and Switzerland all tied at 2 and 1. England, USA, Wales, and the surprise Norwegians at 1 and 2, with winless Sweden at 0 and 3. To make an international event of this magnitude come alive, one must have friends in high places. Try over 1,600 friends. After working endless hours, how is it anyone stays friendly at all?
It's so pleasant, it isn't really work. It's more enjoyment than work.
It's just been wonderful. My wife and I are both working as volunteers, and we have tickets to see all the games.
Oh yeah, it's just been excellent. Especially on that committee, you get to meet a lot of people from all over, and the players are right down there, so you have a chance to kind of mingle with them and get a read on what they're really like.
Help came from coast to coast. From all walks of life to all ages, people donated their time and energy. Western Manitobans opened their homes and communities to the world. For the people who put so much effort into the event, it was reward enough to be a part of something special like the Ford Worlds. Not since 1991 had a Scottish rink won a world curling title. Before that, 1967. The women had never won. Would this be the year the Scots would set the record straight? Lead Katie Loudon, second Joanna Pegg, third Edith Loudon, and 2-time world junior medalist skip Kirsty Hay curl out of the Airlie White Ladies Curling Club in Perth, Scotland. Although successful at the junior level, this would be their first shot at a world women's title against a very experienced field. It will not be easy going. On the men's side, international experience is lacking as well. Curling out of the Dunkeld Curling Club in Pitlochry, Scotland, the Scots consist of lead Russell Keeler, second Robert Kelly, third Peter Loudon, and former world silver medalist skip Gordon Muirhead. Only Muirhead has any previous world experience. His foursome is strong and knowledgeable, but would the pressures of the international limelight take its toll? Leading Team Denmark and making a record 13th appearance would be Helena Black-Larsen. The hopes of Denmark's second world title would definitely focus around the well-traveled skip. Curling out of the Vidove Curling Club in Vidove, Denmark, are lead Margaret Portner, second Helene Jensen, third Dorothy Holm, and skip Helena Black-Larsen. Qualifying in only their 4th World Championship, England looked to gain invaluable experience. Curling out of the Wigan and Hague Curling Club in Wigan, England, are lead Stephen Watt, second Neil Hardy, third Andrew Hemming, and skip Alistair Burns. England's last appearance came in 1992 when Burns led his foursome to a 4-5 mark. Heading into day 3 action, all of the curlers must admit one thing. No matter who they might play, they are all on equal footing. The ice at the Keystone Center is perfect. This World Championship will be decided based on the skills of the players, due to the efforts of the ice-making crews at work in Brandon. Although still early in the competition, Day 3 features some key matchups in women's play. Undefeated Canada against 2-1 Scotland, and 2-1 Germany against 2-1 Sweden. The Canadians start rolling early, scoring 2 in the final end and downing the Swiss 6-4 in their morning draw. In the evening, playing in front of a sellout crowd, the Ice Queen comes full circle. Laliberty makes a great draw to the forefoot, sending the Keystone Arena into a frenzy. The result, a 6-5 triumph over a dejected Kirsty Hay. In the morning draw, Sweden keeps pace as Gustafsson gets by Germany 8-5. The Doctor is in, improving to 4-1 by downing Schoenberg's Team USA by a score of 8-5. Norway remains unbeaten as the rink from Oslo claims a morning draw win over Japan 7-4. Nordby later meets the Danes. Things are all tied up in the 7th, but Norway is too strong, and they claim a 9-3 victory over Denmark. After 5 draws, Canada and Norway stand alone at 5-0. Sweden on the doorstep at 4-1, Germany at 3-2, and Scotland, Switzerland, and the US all even at 2-3. Denmark and Japan share 1 win apiece, with France still looking for their first victory. Day 3 featured only 1 draw for the men in the afternoon on Monday.
Squid community bottles.
Yeah. For who? Our team?
And theirs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Canada's Kerry Burtnick takes on Wales in their lone match. The Canadians waste no time as Jeff Ryan executes a textbook triple kill, clearing the house, demoralizing the Welsh in the second end. Canada goes on to post an 8-2 win over Wales. Norway continues to struggle, suffering their 3rd loss, this time to Scotland. The Norwegians now face the possibility of not making it to the semis. They are down, but not out. Caps foursome from Germany keep pace with the Scots by edging Switzerland 4-3. Team Sweden finally find a way to win, downing England's Alistair Burns 5-2. After 4 rounds, Canada still remained unbeaten, followed by Germany and Scotland at 3-1, the Swiss and the Americans tied at 2-2, and England, Norway, Sweden, and Wales all at 1-3. Led by former world silver medalist Lisa Schoenberg, the 1995 edition of Team USA looks promising. Lead Marcia Tillish, second Lori Mountford, third Erica Brown, and skip Lisa Schoenberg curl out of the Madison Curling Club in Madison, Wisconsin. In 1992, Lisa guided her foursome to the best showing ever by an American team. Her thoughts of gold cut short by Sweden's Elisabeth Gustafsson, then Johansson, in an 8-4 decision to finish with the silver medal. Unlike their female counterparts, the men have no world curling experience. Curling out of the Superior Curling Club in Superior, Wisconsin, are lead John Gordon, second Miles Brundage, third Mike Schneeberger, and former Winter Olympics bronze medalist skip Tim Somerville. If the name sounds familiar, it should. Tim's dad and their 5th is none other than 2-time world curling champion Bud Somerville. Not bad company for the inexperienced foursome. The Swiss men are one of the least experienced teams as well. At an average age of 25, no player has ever competed at a Worlds. Lead Peter Eggenschwiller, second Rito Ziegler, third Christoph Schwaller, and skip Andreas Schwaller curl out of the St. Moritz Curling Club. Having been together 4 years, the team from St. Moritz would be trying to give Switzerland their 4th world title. Also plagued by a lack of experience are the Swiss women. With an average age of 23 years, they are the youngest at this year's championships. Curling out of the Leukerbad Curling Club in Leukerbad are lead Inger Müller, second Madeleine Brulot, third Selina Brulot, and skip Graziella Gritchen. The Swiss hadn't won a title since 1983. Graziella and the twin sisters Madeleine and Selina would hopefully put an end to that drought. Only one draw for the women on the 4th day of competition, the key matchup featuring Sweden versus Norway. After a tight 5 ends, Norway makes their move by scoring 4 in the 6th end to take a 6-3 lead. The game is then delayed as a chunk of ice is accidentally lifted from the button on a measurement call. Having an adverse effect on sliding deliveries, officials decided to play the final 4 ends all in the same direction. In the 10th, Nordby eludes Gustafsson by drawing to the forefoot for 1 and a 7-5 win. Team Canada, meanwhile, had their hands full with winless France. With Canada up 6-4, the persistent Brigitte Lemy laid 2 in the final end. Laliberty then delivers her final stone, removing 1 counter, giving up the steal of 1. Canada hangs on to a 6-5 decision. In the end, Canada and Norway are still undefeated. Germany and Sweden at 3-2, Team USA fighting back at 3-3, while Japan, Scotland, and the Swiss all fell to 2-4. Denmark and France all but out of it at 1-5 and 0-6. 4 losses and you are out. That is the formula most teams are going by as day 4 begins. In all, 4 teams could afford to lose no more. Norway is one of those teams. Facing the possibility of elimination, Ramsfeld responds like a true champion. First edging England's Alistair Burns 8-7 in the early draw, then defeating Andreas Schwaller of Switzerland 9-5 in the nightcap. After defeating the U.S.'s Tim Somerville 7-6 in the morning draw, the Canadians again had their hands full as they took on Hugh Milliken's Australia. Burtnick delivers the shot of the day by moving 5 rocks, taking out 2 Australian stones, and is left lying 4. Canada eventually counts 3. Milliken comes back with a nice shot of his own, but the Aussies simply can't hold Canada back as they roll through to a 10-5 victory in only 8 ends. Scotland, meanwhile, falls victim to last-place Sweden in an 8-5 loss. England records only their 2nd win of the tournament, an 8-5 triumph over Germany's Andy Capp. At the top of the standings, Canada gains some breathing room as their nearest rivals stumble. Tied at 4-2 are Germany and Scotland. At 3-3, Norway, the US, and Switzerland. Hitting the Magic 4 are Australia, England, and Sweden at 2-4. And finally, Wales at 1-5. Hosting the 1998 Winter Olympics may help curling gain popularity in Japan. It will certainly contribute to the sport's growth in other parts of the world, but the Japanese are making inroads in the sport and are trying to gain all the experience they can. Japan's representatives are curling in the women's division, and they are lead Yoko Mamura, second Yukari Kondo, third Emi Fujita, and skip Ayako Ishigaki. Returning to her second consecutive Worlds, Ishigaki is determined to improve on last year's 1-8 record. Transplanted Canadians have been spreading the gospel of curling all over the world. One such example, the trio of Chick, Johns, and Milliken, all originally from Canada. Curling out of the New South Wales Curling Club in Victoria are lead Steve Hewitt, second Gerald Chick, third Stephen Johns, and skip Hugh Milliken. Milliken makes his fourth straight world appearance with an overall record of 5-13. Yet to win a medal at a women's curling championship is Team France. Lead Brigitte Collard, second Gaëtane Bibelet, third Jocelyn Col-Henry, and skip Brigitte Lamy curl out of the Megève Curling Club in Megève. Lamy returns to the Worlds for the third time, but only her first as a skip. In 1990, she appeared as a third for Paulette Sulpice, and in 91 as a second for Annick Mercier. A family affair carries the hopes of Wales during their country's inaugural World Curling Championship appearance. Curling out of the D-Side Curling Club in Holywell are lead and father Hugh Mickle, second and son Jamie Mickle, third and son Adrian Mickle, and skip John Hunt. The Hunt foursome will be looking to gain invaluable experience here in Brandon. With only 3 games remaining, 2 of them being on day 5, Wednesday's matchups became pivotal. The Canadians could assure themselves of first place, while the Norwegians could also take first overall. Third and fourth place looked to be wide open. Team USA are unable to take advantage of their opportunities by first losing to Denmark 7-4 and then bowing out to Germany by an 8-5 margin. Schoenberg's foursome thus eliminate themselves from playoff contention. Both Germany and Sweden split their 2 matches, again leaving themselves deadlocked in the standings. After Andrea Schoep's loss to Norway in her morning draw, she bounces back to defeat the Americans in the evening. Likewise, Sweden destroys France 11-1 before falling victim to Kirsty Hay of Scotland 8-6. The evening draw features the Battle of the Titans, 7-0 Norway versus 7-0 Canada. Both teams exchange deuces through 5 ends, deadlocked at 4 apiece. In the 6th, Dorothy Nordby is facing a steal of 1 from Canada when she plays off a rock on the 12-foot to remove Canada's well-guarded stone. Norway subsequently draws for 3 and jumps out to a 7-4 lead. Laliberty's Team Canada, down but never out, steals singles in the next 3 ends. Nordby is left with a draw to the 4-foot for the win. Her effort falls short, giving Canada the steal once again and an 8-7 decision. Canada assures themselves first in the standings, with Norway placing second. Another win by Canada or a loss by Norway would give the hometown favorites last rock advantage in the playoffs. With Canada and Norway in first and second respectively, Germany and Sweden stand third and fourth. Scotland's Kirsty Hay has only an outside shot at a playoff berth, but must count on Sweden and Germany losing, and Hay must win her last game. Playing just 1 match on the men's side, the final standings would not be clear until the final day. Many questions have yet to be answered. Somerville of the United States improves his chances of post-round-robin play. The U.S. steal 2 in the 9th to down the Swiss 7-3. Norway continues to struggle as Egil Ramsfeld gives up an embarrassing 10-3 decision to Peter Lindholm. Unbelievably, Norway still has an outside chance at the semifinals. Canada wants to control their own destiny. Gordon Muirhead of Scotland has other plans. Through the first 6 ends, Scotland keeps the Canucks on the run, leading 3-2. Burtnick finally counters with a 2 in the 7th, putting the pressure back on Muirhead. Facing 4 counters in the 8th, Muirhead, with his last rock, attempts an angle double raise. His stone catches the first rock at a wrong angle and sends it through the house. Canada steals 4 and never looks back, en route to an 8-3 victory. Andy Capp keeps Germany's first-place hopes alive, scoring a decisive 7-2 win over John Hunt of Wales. Germany can still catch Canada, but must count on Burtnick and company losing their final 2 games. Canada still retains first place, Germany in second, Scotland and the United States tie for third and fourth, and 4 teams are still in the playoff hunt at 3 and 4. England could still mathematically make it as well. Wales, in their first ever World Championship, has been officially eliminated. Anyone who has ever been to a World Curling Championship in the past will forever remember Brandon. They'll remember the curling, the drama, and the world-class shot making. But one aspect will set the Brandon Worlds apart from the rest: the sense that this was more than just a curling event. There were stimulating and entertaining venues for the hundreds of thousands of visitors to enjoy. You could take a walk back in time, through the present and into the future. A world of sights and sounds never to be forgotten. A world called Curling World. 410,000 square feet of exhibits, displays, games, and art. Ethnic foods from all over the world. Curling World had it all. And to make sure you missed none of the curling action, 29-inch televisions were visible in every direction. Manitoba Mosaic, specially designed exhibits displaying a Manitoba gone by, what's taking place in the 90s, and a sneak peek into what our future might hold. Main Street, Manitoba, a Brandon boardwalk of storefronts from the 20s and 30s provided food, entertainment, and the sights and sounds of yesteryear. Curling World's own Curling Museum showed the development of the game from its early beginnings to the way it's played today. International World. Exhibits from every country represented at this year's Worlds allowed visitors to get in touch with other cultures and people. Commercial World. Merchandise from cars to cookies was available from a number of vendors. And if it was entertainment you were after, the sky was the limit. Who could forget the Queen's Cowboys? Much ado about curling. And Australia's Australians, just to name a few. Music and dancing for all taste kept visitors entertained for 9 straight days. The atmosphere was not of a curling tournament alone, but of a festival of sport and entertainment. Brandon played host to one of the most unique curling events ever held. Day 6 is here and brings with it the end of round-robin play. Some would move on, some would go home. Team Canada, fresh off a come-from-behind win over Norway, looked to complete the round-robin sweep. Standing in their way, 3 and 5 Denmark. It is not meant to be. The Danes go to the attack early, scoring 2 in the second end. Helena Black-Larsen steals 1 in the third before Canada grabs their first point. Denmark then proceeds to steal 6 points in 3 consecutive ends. Lalaberty suffers her worst and only loss, a 10-1 thrashing in only 8 ends. Team Canada makes no excuses, and the stats don't lie. Lalaberty makes only 52% of her shots. The semifinals are just around the corner. Sweden's Elisabeth Gustafsson secures sole possession of third place by knocking off Japan's Ayako Ishigaki 12-3 in 8 ends. Andrea Schoep suffers her fourth loss to Switzerland's Graziella Griching 5-3. However, Germany still hangs on to a fourth-place berth. They are playoff bound. Missing the playoffs, 4 teams are at 4 and 5. Scotland, Switzerland, Denmark, and the United States, followed by 2 and 7 Japan, and winless France will not see extra play at this World Championships. In men's play, a total of 8 teams are still eligible for playoff action. With only 2 games remaining, tiebreakers become a definite possibility. Team Canada has achieved their first goal, make it to the playoffs. Burtnick's next goal, to go undefeated. Canada, after blanking the first 2 ends against Germany, takes 1 in the third to lead 1-0. Burtnick then steals on 3 straight ends. After 6 ends of play, Cap finds himself down 6-0. 2 ends later, the gloves come off as Canada defeats Germany 8-1. In their final match Thursday evening, Burtnick and his teammates find themselves ahead 6-0 after only 3 ends. Sweden's Peter Lindholm never recovers, eventually bowing out to the Canucks 8-2. Germany's Andy Cap gets back on the winning track against Australia, downing the Hugh Milliken foursome 5-3. Scotland win their final 2, launching the Muirhead rink into a tie with Germany for second place. In the morning draw, the Scots survived 3 consecutive steals by Switzerland's Andreas Schwaller and hold on to a 7-6 victory. Gordon Muirhead then gets by England's Alistair Burns 6-5 in 10 ends. When all is said and done, round-robin play has failed to decide the final playoff lineup. Canada, Germany, and Scotland have qualified. Tied for 4th are Norway, Switzerland, Sweden, and the United States. Gone golfing, England, Australia, and Wales. To decide the men's 4th place opponent, 2 tiebreakers would be played. Switzerland would play the US, and Norway would battle Sweden. The winner of these games would meet to determine the final 4th place berth in semi-final action. Both games took place late into the evening, immediately following round-robin play. Somerville's Team USA scored 2 in the 5th to take a 3-2 lead. After an American steal of 1 in the 6th, Switzerland's Andreas Schwaller responds with one of their own in the 8th. Down 4-3 in the 9th, Schwaller gives up a deuce and the game. The Americans must now await the winner of the Norway-Sweden game. Norway's Igor Ramsfjell, meanwhile, jumps out to an early 4-1 lead over Sweden's Peter Lindholm after only 6 ends. After trading singles, Sweden counts 1 in the 9th to cut the deficit to 2. Lindholm manages a steal of 1 in the 10th, but falls short, losing 5-4. Norway's incredible comeback continues as they move on to meet the Americans. In the second tiebreaker, Team USA wastes no time. After counting a deuce in the 5th, the US steal 3 in the 6th. Somerville's good fortune continues as he steals another 2 in the 7th. The damage is done 10-1. The Americans advance to the semis. As for Norway, Igor Ramsfjell will have to wait until next year for a chance to realize his goal of winning a world title in 3 separate decades, a feat unequaled in the sport. The women's semifinals feature classic matchups, with Sweden playing Norway and Canada against Germany. All 4 skips are former world champions, and each woman knows what it takes to win. It's a superstar lineup and a curling fan's dream. As Sweden takes on Norway, Elisabeth Gustafsson draws first blood by taking 1 in the opening end of play. After blanking the second, Norway's Dorte Nordby storms back. Sweden makes the hit, but can't stick around, leaving Norway with a cold draw for 2. Nordby makes no mistakes and takes the lead 2-1. In the fourth, Gustafsson is facing 2 Norwegian stones, but with her last rock, picks out the counter and scores 1. Down 3-2 in the seventh, and with final stone, Gustafsson makes the takeout and hangs on to count 3. Nordby never recovers, scoring only 1 in the eighth, en route to a 6-4 semi-final loss. Sweden's Gustafsson is back and looking for gold. To decide who will meet Sweden for top honors, Germany and Canada square off in the other semi-final. Canada's Connie Laliberty, with a home crowd behind her, wastes no time in going to the attack. Connie makes her draw for 2 in the first end as her second shot bites the 12-foot. Quickly down 2-0, Germany's Andrea Schopp faces 2 counters again in the second. But Schopp hits and sticks for 1, cutting the deficit in half. The trouble continues for Germany as third Monica Wagner flashes her stone, leaving the Canadians counting 2. Schopp's final stone takeout is wide, and Laliberty is left with a split for 5. However, her stone is heavy, leaving Canada with only a 3. After 3 ends, the Canucks have a commanding 5-1 lead. Germany grabs singles in the 4th and 6th, cutting Canada's lead to 6-3. However, in the 7th, Laliberty all but puts it away with a draw for 2. Schopp, never really in the match, bows to Canada 10-4. Laliberty moves on, her dream season nearly complete. She is only 1 step away from the gold. However, Elisabeth Gustafsson has her own case of gold fever. Norway and Germany must determine who will wear bronze on Saturday afternoon. On the men's side, a new chapter in world curling history was about to be written. Neither skip from Canada, the United States, Germany, or Scotland had ever won a world title. Another curling first was about to unfold, and for the fans in the Keystone Center and across the country, it couldn't be any more exciting. Germany's Andy Kapp, with last rock advantage, is forced to take 1 in the opening end of semi-final action against Gordon Muirhead of Scotland. After blanking the second, it becomes apparent that both teams will stick to their familiar defensive style of play. In the third, however, things got interesting. Kapp makes the takeout to Lai's second shot. Muirhead then flashes his first offering, allowing Germany to attempt the freeze. Andy Kapp, with his last stone, is slightly heavy. Muirhead, faced with an open hit for 2, makes the shot and moves to a 2-1 lead. In the fourth, the Germans find themselves on the defensive again as they look at 3 Scottish counters. Kapp is forced to draw for 1 and tie the game at 2 apiece. In the fifth end, Kapp must make a critical shot, but flashes his last stone. Muirhead has the draw for 2 and leads 4-2. The Germans know they're in tough, going into the fifth end break. The breathing room serves Kapp and company well. After they grab 1 in the 6th, they manage a steal in the 7th to tie the game at 4-aside. Muirhead is not to be denied, however, as Scotland scores singles in the 8th and 10th ends to defeat Germany 6-4. Andy Kapp will play for bronze for the second time in 2 years, while Muirhead will get a second chance to take home curling's highest honor. To determine who would meet Scotland for the gold, USA's Tim Somerville faces Kerry Burtnick of Canada. And the Americans find trouble right away in the first end. Somerville, looking at 4 counters, makes the hit, but can't get the roll behind cover. Burtnick makes no mistake on the open hit and takes a 4-0 lead over the U.S. And Somerville's woes continue in the second. Facing heavy traffic, the American skip executes a great shot, making contact with 4 stones and removing 2 Canadian counters. But his last rock is off the broom and sails through the house to give Canada a steal of 3. Somerville and his team are in trouble, down 7-0 to an undefeated Team Canada who have played flawlessly all week. Somerville would have to dig deep to find a way to come back, and in the third, they get their start with a draw for 2. But things are going Canada's way. Burtnick, with this terrific shot, set up a 2-ender to take a 9-2 lead over the U.S. Despite Canada's daunting lead, the Americans play tenaciously and never give up. They score 1 in the 5th and steal 3 in the 6th to make things interesting as they draw to within only 3 of Team Canada. But Burtnick remains in control of the game, and Somerville can get no closer than 10-7. 30 years after his father's first World Championship, Tim Somerville would play for bronze. For Canada, double gold was a definite possibility. With both teams being from Manitoba, the atmosphere is electric. Connie and Kerry are the toast of the town. Norway and Germany, Nordby and Schopp, each with 6 world appearances. Nordby with 2 gold medals and Schopp with 1. On her last visit to Manitoba, Dorte Nordby of Norway struck gold, but this time she can do no better than bronze. However, she will have to meet Andrea Schopp to determine who will take home the hardware and valuable Olympic qualifying points. Both countries are looking to make the trip to Nagano, Japan. They trade singles in the first 3 ends, and in the 4th, Nordby's final stone removes the German counter and scores the deuce for Norway. Nordby shows no mercy and displays the kind of shot-making that has won gold in the past. In the 5th, she plays the perfect angle raise to lie 2.
There's the raise through the board, and she picks out the German shot stone.
Schopp's tap-back attempt fails and results in a steal of 2 for Norway.
Got a little bit of backing there, but is it going to slide too far? Yes, it will.
Down 6-1, Schopp misses the angle raise to the forefoot in the 7th end. The result is another steal of 2 for Norway. There is to be no denying Nordby and her squad as they defeat Germany 8-3 to take home the bronze medal. However, Germany has one more shot at the medals. The men's loss to Scotland in the semifinals places them in a bronze medal matchup with Tim Somerville of the U.S. They get down to business in the first end as Somerville, with the open takeout, makes the excellent hit and roll to the button. But Andy Capp is equal to the challenge. With his final stone, he plays the perfect double to score 1 as his shooter hangs on. The U.S. adds a single in the 3rd and a steal of 1 in the 4th end to make the score 2-1 for the U.S. In the 5th end, Capp faces 3 American counters, but he makes another big double and his shooter sticks around. Germany lies 1, but more than half open. Somerville needs to hit and roll behind cover. He wrecks on the guard to leave the house open for Andy Capp. Capp, with the hammer, plays the tap and roll to count 2. Germany leads 3-2 at the end of 5.
Get a little rub for his 2. I thought he was into the board.
Somerville comes right back in the 6th. He makes the big angle raise takeout to tie the game at 3 apiece.
Can he pick the yellow stone? Yes, will it jam on his own?
He also steals 1 in the 8th as Andy Capp, with too much traffic in front, is forced to the outside angle chip and roll to the forefoot. Despite this great shot, the U.S. leads Germany 4-3. In the 9th, Somerville plays the takeout but spills his shooter. Germany, left with the open draw for 2, makes no mistake, taking a 5-4 lead. In the 10th end, Germany is well behind cover, and Somerville is forced to attempt a big angle raise takeout. A brilliant shot gives the U.S. the tie to force the extra end. However, things do not go Somerville's way. Germany keeps things clean through 11. Oliver Axnick's double kill of 2 American guards sets up the remainder of the end. Tim Somerville, with his final stone, gasses his draw attempt.
They're trying to sweep it through, the Germans are, and check out the reaction by the American skip.
All handicap needs is the open draw for his 2nd consecutive bronze medal win. And so Germany climbs the podium to 3rd place at the 1995 World Curling Championships. Laliberty has waited 11 years. Gustafsson only 3. Both have met previously in World semifinal action. They know each other well. And on this day, gold is on the line with a chance to be crowned the world's best. The tension mounts as Laliberty and Gustafsson swap singles in the first 2 ends. Then, Connie makes her move. With perfect weight, she slips past the long guard to chip out the Swedish counter and roll to the button to count 2. The crowd responds with roof-raising applause. The feeling is that the home team is on track for gold. But Gustafsson comes back quickly. After scoring a single in the 4th, she makes the great draw to lie shot rock in the 5th. Laliberty attempts the long raise. It's wide, and Gustafsson steals one to tie the game at 3 apiece at the 5th end break. After blanking the 6th end, Laliberty finds herself facing 2 Swedish counters. With her last stone, she attempts the double kill. She clears 1 Swedish stone from the house and pushes the other to the edge by just enough to count 1 and take the lead 4-3 over Gustafsson. In the 8th end, Team Canada seems to take control. Laliberty makes the great takeout to roll behind cover. Gustafsson attempts the draw. She needs a piece of the button for shot rock, but she falls short of the mark, pulling up in the middle of the forefoot, and Sweden leaves Canada with a steal of 1. Canada is in charge 5-3 over Sweden with 2 ends to play. The momentum seems to stay with Canada. Late in the 9th, Sweden faces 3 more Canadian counters. Gustafsson is forced to make a perfect shot. With very little margin for error, she does so with a raise of her own stone straight back onto the Canadian shot rock. Laliberty plays conservatively and offers the guard at the front of the house to close the gap and prevent Sweden from scoring 2. Gustafsson has a tough draw for the deuce and plays her final stone of the end too quietly. Sweden scores only 1. With 1 end remaining, Gustafsson is down by 1. Laliberty has the hammer coming home. She is only 16 stones away from winning her 2nd world title. However, Elisabeth Gustafsson has other thoughts. It comes down to skips rocks in the 10th end. Elisabeth Gustafsson is sitting 2. All Laliberty needs is to hit and stick for the victory and the gold medal. With her final stone, she makes the takeout but spills her shooter. A steal of 1 for Gustafsson ties the game. The Women's World Championship will be decided in extra ends. In the 11th end, Sweden makes full use of the free guard zone. With traffic in front, Gustafsson lies shot in the forefoot. Again, with last rock advantage, Laliberty is left only with the raise. She can tap back to the forefoot or make contact with the Swedish stone. Connie Laliberty, skip of World Curling's All-Star team, an 8-1 record in round-robin play, curling at the top of her game, is 1 shot away from gold. With her usual quiet confidence, she delivers the final rock of the 1995 Ford World Women's Championship. It is a matter of line and a question of weight. As the stone is tapped back, it passes through the forefoot, too heavy. The crowd is stunned, and the disappointment shows on Laliberty's face. Yet another steal given up by Canada gives Sweden's Elisabeth Gustafsson and her teammates lead Elisabeth Persson, 2nd Louise Marmont, and 3rd Katarina Nyberg the gold medal. The double win is not possible, as Canada must settle for silver.
I'm so happy for winning this, but at the same time as I feel this, I feel very, very sorry for Connie's team, because I know they have also been working very hard for this, and they wanted to win it badly. But yeah, I'm just happy.
The lead, Elizabeth Persson, and the alternate, Helena Svensson. I'd ask you to honor our gold medal champions with the playing of the national anthem of Sweden.
Scotland versus Canada, a curling tradition, a curling classic, a rivalry dating back to the early 1900s. What more could the world of curling ask for? Canada's remaining hope for gold is in the hands of Kerry Burtnick, Jeff Ryan, Rob Meakin, and Keith Fenton. Curling fans across the nation had witnessed a heart-wrenching loss for Connie Laliberty and her team in the women's finals. But after a flawless performance in the round robin and the playoffs, Burtnick and company are poised to keep the gold at home in Manitoba. Can the team from the Keystone province win the World Championships? That hasn't happened since 1972. But they will have to get past an equally determined Scottish squad, skipped by Gordon Muirhead. The Scots invented the game. Would they now be able to claim the coveted championship that seemed to be their due? Capacity crowds at the Keystone Centre are willing witnesses to curling's classic matchup. After an initial blank end, Canada draws first blood in the second, as Burtnick hits and sticks to count one. Muirhead looks to put points on the board in the third, but his last stone doesn't have the juice and comes up short. Canada steals one and leads 2-0. With the hammer in the fifth, Muirhead looks to blank the end with the open hit, but instead he hangs around to count the single point. At the break, Scotland is down 2-1, but not out. In the sixth end, Scotland shows their championship form. Gordon Muirhead, with the delicate touch, feathers his shot between two guards and picks out the Canadian counter. He rolls behind cover perfectly, leaving it up to Kerry Burtnick to find a way to eliminate the Scottish counter. His outturn draw is too heavy, and he gasses his rock to give Muirhead a steal of one. After a blank seventh end, Burtnick is again looking to keep it clean in the eighth, but he hits and sticks to count one. Canada leads 3-2, but they've relinquished the all-important last rock advantage heading into the last two ends of the game. The tension mounts heading into the night, but it doesn't seem to affect Gordon Muirhead of Scotland. He delivers a textbook takeout and roll to lie 1.
What an excellent shot.
But Burtnick won't be outdone. With a smooth delivery, Canada counters with a perfect corner freeze. Muirhead attempts to pick out the Canadian stone and spill all of the rocks from the house. He throws big weight, but he cannot remove the Canadian stone. Canada steals 1 in 9 to lead Scotland 4-2, but Scotland has the hammer coming home. Canada works hard to keep things clean and try to run Scotland out of rocks. Burtnick asked Jeff Ryan to remove 2 Scottish guards from the front of the house. The Canadian third narrowly misses the twin takeout, which sets up the nice draw by Scottish third Peter Loudon. It settles in nicely behind cover. Scotland lies 1. Again, Canada calls upon Ryan for his shooter's touch to remove the Scottish counter. He makes no mistake, bending past the guard and driving the shot rock from the rings as the shooter spills to the back of the 12-foot. With his first stone, Muirhead draws into the 8-foot to lie 2. The tying rocks are in the house, and Scotland has 1 more to come. Burtnick knows the score. He has 1 rock left and faces 2 Scottish counters. He can kill 1 Scottish stone and hope for Muirhead to hit and stick for the tie. This means an extra end with the hammer. Or he can play the double for the win. Either way, a cold miss will mean a loss for Canada. But there is no hesitation. It's been this way all week long. 9-0 in round-robin play, World Curling's all-star skip playing better than ever before. There is only 1 decision for Kerry Burtnick on his last rock of the 1995 Ford World Curling Championships. The looks on the faces of the wives of Team Canada speak of the strain on everyone in the Keystone Centre. Everyone, that is, except Kerry Burtnick, who is intent on watching the line of this rock as he leaves the hack. An amazing shot to end an amazing week. Years of preparation and practice have culminated in Team Canada's championship season. Burtnick, Ryan, Meakin and Fenton have given Canada truly golden moments.
This town has been a real highlight for me. I've won an awful lot of things here, and people here have always been just exceptional, and this week was just fantastic, and to cap it off this way is just unbelievable. I'm really lucky to have a second chance at this. It took me 14 years, and the chances of me getting back here again are not very good, so I wanted to make the most of it right now.
The skip is Kerry Burtnick. Third, Jeff Ryan. Second, Rob Meakin. Lead, Keith Fenton. And the alternate, Dennis Fillion. Team Canada.
I'd like to take this opportunity to express my thanks on behalf of the Ford Motor Company of Canada to all the champions of all the particular nations who competed here this week, here in the 1995 Ford World Curling Championships. Up we go, guys.
Thanks very much, Roy.
Thank you very much. national flags and honor the men's gold medalists with the playing of the Canadian national anthem.
Curling has been tremendous, of course, and the ice has been great, so the curling fan has got to see some tremendous curling. Then Curling World, which was very important to us because it was a new concept. Just organizing it and seeing it develop meant a lot to our committees, and the people responded well to it. They, we had huge crowds come out, and there was something for everybody at the 95 Worlds here in Brandon. So we were real pleased with it. There's a tremendous, a lot of good people out there involved with the World Curling, and I think it was really fun to bring it to Brandon. I'm a big believer in that Brandon should have the World Championships, simply because I think this is one of the finest curling areas in the world, if not the finest. And for them to experience it, for our fans to experience it, really, really meant a lot to me.
We set out to create a big event, big league sports atmosphere around a very special World Championship curling event, and we've done it. We've had an exceptional week of curling, and we've had an exceptional event around the curling. The two, it may never be equal.
For 9 straight days, the eyes of the world looked in on Brandon, Manitoba, and everyone liked what they saw. Brandon lived up to its reputation as the host city. The hospitality exhibited by the people of Western Manitoba would forever be remembered by both fans and players. Friendships new and old would never be forgotten.
Greetings from Switzerland.
Curling World gave new meaning to the word festival. There seemed to be something for everyone. The numbers spoke for themselves. Over 260,000 were drawn to the Keystone Center. The standard has been set for future World Championships.